Thor the Dark World might be the most hated movie in the MCU, and I get it, but honestly, I don't hate it completely. The plot is very exposition heavy, but surprisingly pretty basic. Generations ago, Thor's grandfather fought an army of dark elves led by the elf named Malekith. They were attempting to plunge the galaxy into darkness during an event called the Convergence, which happens when all 9 realms align. However, Malekith fails and generations later returns to try again, this time going toe-to-toe with Thor, Loki, Sif, and the Warriors 3. Along the way, Thor is also reunited with his Earth friends, Jane and Darcy. Thor the Dark World was the first MCU film made without distribution from Paramount, instead being put out by Disney, the owners of Marvel, and its IP. Kenneth Branagh would not return as director, with those duties being handed off to Alan Taylor. Before that, however, Patty Jenkins of Wonder Woman fame was tapped to direct, but left due to the ever-so-common creative differences with Marvel. This film has some new tech worth noting, such as the Reality Stone, which the Dark Elves use throughout the film, and there are some really badass new ships like the Dark Elf Harrow. But other than that, it's just what you'd expect, Mjolnir and the like. I don't think Thor's suit has dramatically changed. Thor the Dark World is okay, leaning on mediocre, and just frankly isn't a very memorable entry in the MCU. I like how the film looks from cinematography to costumes, but I can't say it's for everyone. And the characters are so flat that I don't have anything to say about them, as there isn't much elevation from the original Thor film. The end credit scenes are pretty fun, however, one foreshadowing the Guardians of the Galaxy, with Sif and Volstagg entrusting the Reality Stone to the Collector, who, as the name implies, is collecting the Infinity Stones. The second end credit scene is a comedic scene where Thor greets Jane while under attack by some frost beasts. The score for Thor the Dark World is fairly mediocre and sadly not very memorable, as was pretty common in early Marvel films. The one shot for this film is All Hail the King, and it's a brief short following Trevor after the events of Iron Man 3, as he recounts his life and is ultimately abducted by the Ten Rings. This plot point wouldn't really come back until Shang-Chi years later, but it's an awesome short. It's actually a lot of fun and definitely my favorite short in the MCU. We even get a fun little cameo from Justin Hammer. It's just great, and I look forward to talking about Trevor more eventually when we look at Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So yeah, Thor the Dark World is pretty mediocre, but I still like it better than the first Thor, and I can see how people may think it's a bit bland, but I think it looks good for the most part personally, and aside from the crazy amounts of exposition, I enjoy the film. I won't be rushing back to watch this one anytime soon, however, as it is a bit of a slog. Alright, the next video is Captain America the Winter Soldier. I remember enjoying this one, but I've only seen this film twice, so we'll see. Catch you next time, guys.